My sixth grade year was notable for many reasons. Not only was it the first year that I ever had a girlfriend, but it was also my first year in Debate, Kansas City. Now, 6 years ago, I didn't quite understand the ramifications of both having a girlfriend and being involved in debate, but looking back, I now understand how debate has allowed me to change my future by helping me discover my identity and become conscious of my social position. Now, in sixth grade, it was very complicated for me to be able to understand what it meant to be black in America. At the time, I was being roasted on by my fellow peers for being too dark. They would make jokes at me saying I was as black as charcoal, or blacker than the night sky, or my mama was so black that she looked like oil. It was all of these things that made me gain a negative perception of what it meant to be black. Not only was I ostracized for being too black on the skin tone, but also I was called white at the time because I liked to read, because I loved to do math, and I had no problem doing my homework. It was all of these associations that my peers immediately prescribed onto me that I didn't really know what it meant to be black. But it wasn't until debate that I began to understand, well, what it actually means to be black, at least for me. In my experiences at the Eddie Conway Liberation Institute, I was able to better understand what it means to be black, African, and even being a black male in America through many of the studies that were all focused around the debate realm. Now, in each debate round, I'm able to voice my personal opinions and I'm able to debate on racial matters that are important to both myself and necessary for America to understand. It's all of these things that have allowed me to operate on a daily basis in my own world. Prior to debate and prior to even debate Kansas City, I was simply lost in a drift. I was what they call a self-hating POC, or on Dear White People, they like to call an UFTA. I simply modified my blackness whenever I wanted it to be and could simply prescribe how I wanted people to feel about me based off of who I was around. But I simply began to understand through debate that this isn't something that's healthy for myself and wouldn't allow me to be successful in my own world. But it's also necessary to analyze how I have certain privileges with being a black male. Now, many of us see stories of Trayvon Martin on the media, or Michael Brown, or Ezel Ford, or Tamir Rice. All of these stories of black males, but never quite the spotlight is on our black women or Latina women. It's simply because those social factors tend to privilege men in our society, which is negative for many reasons, but it's necessary for me to understand its implications. And I was allowed to understand this through debate, through other people's opinions, through understanding concepts as black feminism, Africana womanism, and Latina identidad. It's all of these different things that have allowed me to gain a better social consciousness and better able to understand my social position. It's these different things that debate has allowed me to change my future because I'm able to understand who I am, who I have been, and who I can ultimately be. Because without seeing the past and understanding the past, I can never fully understand the present, and I can never move into the future. And I can proudly say that without debate, I would probably be that kid that still had the internalized self-hatred because I was too dark, or because I was too black, or because I simply acted white. It's all of these things that debate has allowed me to push through and move to new heights, and that I continue to pursue every day and will continue in the